Ladies and gentlemen, Gathoni Wamuchomba is like coming out, hurting seriously when it comes to the narrative that Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta came out trying to at least bring when it comes to the BBI. And that was one man, one vote, one shilling. Gathoni Wamuchomba is coming out to deliver a bad news to Ruto's dialogue team led by Kimani Ichung'wah. At the same time, the dialogue team that is led by Kalonzo Musyoka from Azimio team, that she's no longer going to tolerate and she's not going to accept that report that is going to come from the dialogue team if there is no a conversation of one man, one vote, one shilling. It is not for the first time we are seeing Gathoni Wamuchomba coming out to give the UDA brigade a kind of stress. Why? Initially, when you look at the finance bill, Gathoni Wamuchomba was the only member of parliament from the UDA or Kenya Kwanza government who came out opposing the finance bill of William Samoei Ruto. As if that is not enough, Gathoni Wamuchomba has been always seen as a member of parliament who is not considering certain meetings of William Ruto in the mountain, especially in Kiambu County or in our constituency, Githunguri constituency. Gathoni Wamuchomba is coming out to say that that dialogue report is not going to be legible to her if there is not going to be a conversation of one man, one vote, one shilling.
Debate yetu ni one man, one shilling, one vote. Nikaambiwa ninyamaze. Mwaka imeisha. Tumegawa basari round ya kwanza. Sasa tunangojea round ya pili. Ni haki mimi ninyamaze mkiteseka. Mteseke. Hiyo ripoti Ichung'wah anataka kuleta kule bunge. Hiyo ripoti ambayo ametengeneza wakiwa na kina Kalonzo Musyoka, kama haitakuwa na maneno ya one man, one shilling, one vote, Wamuchomba anaomba ruhusa kutoka kwetu.
I think for me, if you ask me today, when you look at the demands that this dialogue team came out having some issues to be discussed, there are main issues that, of course, lead to this conversation. After we saw a kind of little demonstration across the Republic of Kenya, the reason why of that demonstration was about high cost of living. Number two was about the IEBC servers audit. Number three was about political parties' fidelity. But as we speak, the reality about this dialogue reports, the Azimio team is coming out to threaten this conversation and saying that they are not going to accept this report if there is no conversation about high cost of living. Number two, they are not going to bow or bide in with this conversation in National Assembly if there is no a conversation of political fidelity, where someone, immediately after election, someone is migrating from one political party to the other, or one coalition to the other coalition. So there must be rules and regulations that must be stipulated to ensure that there is a law that is going to be followed, not as per what we've seen recently. So as the Azimio is coming up with their demands, Gathoni Wamuchomba is also coming up with her demands. And her demands are that if there is no conversation about one man, one vote, one shilling, she is not going to accept any kind of conversation, and she's ready to walk out of the house. Then number two, she's coming out to say that this is going to be a conversation that the people of Githunguri constituency must come out and give their ideas. So this also reminds us what happened during the BBI. The BBI had several proposals, and especially was good for the mountain. When look at the population in the mountain, when Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga came out speaking about 1 man, 1 vote, 1 shilling, it was like Uhuru Kenyatta was going to benefit more than even the common mwananchi. The same this was replicated to Raila Amolo Odinga, that these people had an agenda of benefiting themselves. So people came out rejecting this agenda. And by the way, William Ruto and his team came out rejecting this and even sending their lawyers to stop the BBI. And by the way, if you don't know, the BBI was stopped after William Ruto came out mobilizing lawyers, storming the courts. And this is how the BBI was stopped by the Supreme Court. The reason why, it was because they said that the president initiated a popular initiative that was of the people. Or rather, it was the initiative of the people. So if something that is so popular to the people and it is initiative of the people, should not be initiated by the president. And that is not the role of the president. So they came out throwing Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga's team under the bus. The reason behind it, they came out reiterating some laws that Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga's team never came out following. But as if that was not enough, the proposals that were in the BBI was so good. But after that, they came out rejecting. We've seen several members of parliament allied to UDA or Kenya Kwanza coming from Mountain or any other region saying and supporting the proposals of BBI. Because 1 man, 1 vote, 1 shilling was in the BBI. Maybe, let me say, some people never came out understanding the meaning of 1 man, 1 vote, 1 shilling. The narrative that William Ruto came up with was that Uhuru Kenyatta alikuwa ananyima kaunti zingine pesa kupelekea kaunti zingine pesa. For example, as these constituencies, the reason why this 1 man, 1 vote, 1 shilling came in the BBI was about the issue of the constituencies. And the constituencies, we have members of parliament there. They always receive 140 million Kenya shillings per year. But initially it was 100, I think it was, ilikuwa imeongezwa 140 million Kenya shillings per year. The argument was, you find that, for example, let us use Garissa constituency, Garissa town constituency, where the cabinet minister now, the current cabinet minister of Defense Force, Edin Duale, was the member of parliament there. Remember, Duale was being elected with 20,000 voters. Or rather, he was being declared. For example, when look at Edin Duale was elected with 20,000 votes, then you find someone elected with, for example, 60,000 votes, 3 times. Then those are just voters. There are some who never came out voting, but they are in that constituency. So you find that the population there, when you compare with Edin Duale in Garissa town constituency, you'll find that the population there is, let me say, about 100,000. 100,000. Let us have that context. Then you find, for example, Ndindi Nyoro's constituency, that is Kiharu in Murang'a, is having a population of maybe 300,000 people. And these 300,000 people, they're having children wenye wanataka bursaries. Sasa swali ni hii, wakati Uhuru Kenyatta came up with this 1 man, 1 vote, 1 shilling, hakuna mahali popote Uhuru Kenyatta na Raila Odinga na kikundi yao wakakuja wakasema kwamba tulikuwa tunawanyima pesa wale wenye wako kiasi, kama Duale alikuwa na population ya 100,000 but for now is the cabinet minister. You know, nilikuwa nawapea two example. There is no way hao walikuwa wananyimwa pesa wa 100,000 population. Kenya ilikuwa inatakikana, for example, kama Eden Duale's constituency with population of 100,000 people, MP wao anapewa 140 million Kenya shillings. Wacha huyo MP azidi tu kupata hiyo 140 million Kenya shillings, but huyu Ndindi Nyoro wa Kiharu apate, for example, 200 million Kenya shillings. 200 million Kenya shillings. So that we must have the population to use to disburse these resources. Aya, hii ilikuwa i-benefit Mount Kenya so much. But what did these people come out doing? They came out mobilizing the people, and what they did was to come out and block the BBI. They knew that BBI was going to be against them, and they never came out realizing and understanding the benefit of this one man, one vote, one shilling. Au walikuja wakaambiwa ati mnanyang'anywa pesa. Hakuna mtu alikuwa ananyang'anywa pesa. Ni kwamba wenye walikuwa wengi wanaongezwa pesa, na wenye wako na ile yenye nawatosha, because Eden Duale's constituency inaweza kupaya mtoto mmoja even 100,000 basi. But unapata Kiharu constituency wanapewa watoto 2,000 basi. Kwani huyu mtoto tamaliza kusoma lini? That is the reason why when Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta came up with this narrative of one man, one vote, one shilling, he knew whatever he was speaking about. So when you look at Gathoni Wamuchomba now coming out to realize that, it is because of the effect of the bursary disbursement. Because they're receiving 140 million Kenyan shillings. The population is so high when you compare with the other constituencies. Other constituencies wanapea hata watoto 50,000 bursary. I'm telling you. Go and just see. Some constituencies watoto wanapata hata 50,000. Wewe umewahi pata constituency wengine wakipanga laini vile Mount Kenya wanapanga laini? So the reality is one man, one vote is a benefit of the mountain. And that is the reality. That is the pure reality behind this. Ladies and gentlemen, what do you think? Drop your opinion at the comment section below. Otherwise, thank you so much because of great support. Please consider subscribing, liking, commenting, and sharing this video.